You say no first because no is easier to come back from than a yes. If you tell someone no, if you say no to a thing, the probability that you would be able to go back and say, you know what, I can fit this in. You know what, I have the space to do this now. I have the bandwidth. Let's do it. Versus if you've already said yes, you discovered that you're tired AF and that you can't get it in. And now you have to go back to this person and go, you know what, I know I promised you X, but now I can't show up. Those odds of making you feel even more disjointed are lower when you say no first. Calling all professional neurodiverse mamas seeking to reclaim their time, energy, and focus. I have a special invitation for you. The Simplified Schedules Mini-Course will help you to uncover the top 3 things your neurodiverse brain needs to slay your day and reduce overwhelm instantly. This is the one mini course you need to get your life together without quitting your job or leaving your family. You'll also be able to leave this course with an actionable plan to create that flow and freedom you so desperately deserve. So if you're ready to learn, take action, and create flow, then you can learn more at thecharmedlife.me/simplified me. Make sure to download your copy, tell a sister friend, and I'll see you there. Welcome to We Ain't Normal. My name is Charmaine Fuller, and I'm an everyday mom sharing how I navigate my ADHD brain. Each week, we share tools, inspiration, and resources to help you uncover how to reclaim your time, energy, and focus. So thanks for hanging out with me today. Now on to our show. What's up? Welcome back to We Ain't Normal. Today, we are talking about the art of the fast no and the slow yes. Now, if you are wondering what that even means, let me break it down to you. Whenever a request is made of you, or there is a decision that needs to be made versus your knee-jerk yes response, you say no first. Here's why you say no first. You say no first because no is easier to come back from than a yes. If you tell someone no, if you say no to a thing, the probability that you would be able to go back and say, you know what, I can fit this in. You know what, I have the space to do this now. I have the bandwidth. Let's do it. Versus if you've already said yes, you discovered that you're tired AF and that you can't get it in. And now you have to go back to this person and go, you know what, I know I promised you X, but now I can't show up. Those odds of making you feel even more disjointed are lower when you say no first. And saying no first takes practice. So today you are going to leave with some ways that you can begin to utilize the art of the fast no and slow yes in your life. And you can stop being the go-to girl for your family, friends, job, whatever. So let's dig into why people with our brains are often yes people. So when I was a little girl, I always felt like I did not belong. I processed things differently. I had this, and I still have this big, crazy, insane imagination. And I am somewhat a visual type of person. I just always felt different. And people don't know what to do with different. So when you're neurodiverse and you're growing up, the goal is often for us to fit in with the other kids. Go outside and play with the other kids. Go do what the other kids are doing. How come you just can't be like the other kids? Why do you have to be so difficult? You know, these are sometimes messages that women like us have gotten in our early childhood development. So when you get these messages that you're kind of either not enough or too much in the space that you're in, you tend to gravitate toward people pleasing and not trusting who you innately are, really looking for outside validation on what's right, what's wrong, what works for you, what doesn't, which leads you to a lot of people pleasing and being in situations that intuitively you really didn't want to be in the first damn place. But the other person was really excited about it and you didn't want to disappoint them or upset them or make them think that you didn't love them or appreciate them. So you said yes to something that you wanted to say no to because maybe perhaps in some way this will help you to feel like you are enough. Oh my God, I want to cry off of that. So that just doesn't stop when you're a kid. And yes, when you're a kid, your options are limited, but it carries over into adulthood. And so what happens is then you get married or you just become a mom and you become a mom and you have these little beings who you do have to kind of be a people pleaser too, because they can't fend for themselves. Like if you left your infant in a chair in your living room for 3 days and expected for them to fend for themselves, that baby probably wouldn't make it. And so being a mom almost feeds into this people-pleasing frenzy that we have been enduring for our entire lives. And what happens is that these little people become able-bodied humans that are able to do more for themselves and become more independent. But I don't know about you, but I didn't know how to separate that. Like my entire identity was wrapped up in my kids and in my husband and making sure that everybody had everything that they needed to succeed. I was the go-to girl. I was the one that would anticipate need and make sure that everybody else had everything that they needed, while hoping that someone could secretly see that I was drowning on the inside and would give me what I needed. But the gag was, I didn't even know what I needed. I just knew that I was drowning, and not only did I not really know what I needed, but what I did know that I needed, I wasn't trusting anybody else with it because I was afraid they would mess it up and I would have to go back and fix it. So then I wouldn't let anybody help me with what I knew I needed help with. Sounds insane out loud, right? So, having these dreams of like just a weekend to myself, just time away, just, a moment to myself. I just wish I could have a moment to myself, and feeling like life is moving so fast and new responsibilities and tasks are being added on a moment by moment basis. It feels like as soon as you take something off, something else is added on, and it just compacts that overwhelming stress that your neurodiverse brain is already feeling, which is why a lot of the times you possibly have these moments where you are like on 1,000 and you're able to conquer the world and you have this unbridled clarity. And then you have these weeks where you can't even get out of bed, where you are just so exhausted, and doctors may have misdiagnosed it as depression, but what it really is ADHD fatigue. And it's not depression because you're not really sad, you're just fucking exhausted. So how can somebody like me and like you learn how to be comfortable with saying no first instead of saying yes first? Oh my God, I know how overwhelming that can feel. And even if you're not always saying yes, that sometimes you do say no more than you say yes, I would put money on the fact of saying that you could probably stand to say no even more than what you say it. You see, giving yourself the permission space, allowing yourself to be supported, allowing yourself to know that you're worthy of the relief that you so desperately need is what makes saying no easier. I wish I had this 1, 2, 3 answer for you, because I know right now it probably feels like it's just going to take one more straw. And not only will the camel's back break, but his legs, his neck, his ears, all that shit is about to break. And I don't want to serve you fluff on the platter. Like, this podcast is not about giving necessarily life hacks or 3 easy steps to, that's not what this space is. I want to invite you through this podcast to dig deep, grab the support, and do the work to help you really build a foundation that supports you through all the stages of your life. And that's not always easy. So again, how, Charmaine, do we get to this art of this fast no and this slow yes? Being willing to release overdoing, being willing to embrace slowing down and taking your time. Sounds so simple, but when you have a brain that's going on 1,000 miles per hour, and you have a life that's keeping pace with what's in your brain, and the systems that you've created no longer support the life that you want to live, it can feel damn near impossible to say, oh my gosh, slow down and not overdo it. This is where clarity comes in. Every fucking episode of this podcast, 9.9 times out of 10, clarity is going to come up. Clarity is not sexy. Clarity is not sexy. Clarity is not sexy, because we already think we're clear. But girl, let me tell you, you're not. You're not really clear, because you're clear on 5 years from now. Something about the ADHD brain and future casting and being able to sometimes future cast to the point of not being connected to the present because it just goes down this rabbit hole of loops of this, then this, then this, then this, then this, then this, and trying to create this perfect plan that allows you to feel a sense of safety and stability while hopefully managing your anxiety about the future. And if you're going to fuck that up, and if you can have a plan for that, like, I know it's crazy, but I'm not sharing anything with you that I haven't personally experienced. I know it's not that easy. My brain sometimes goes a million miles a minute too. And I have to be extremely intentional about what I am going to engage with, because I have ideas sometimes where I feel like I am going to explode if I don't execute them immediately. And so I've had to learn how to set the boundaries for myself. And if I say I'm going to stop at 9, I stop at 9. I write down whatever it was I felt like was going to explode out of my very being, and I come back to it the next day. The art of the fast no works for you too. It's not just for the people in your life. Sometimes we have to tell ourselves no. Sometimes the execution of the boundary comes from telling ourselves no, not right now. We'll revisit tomorrow. I've overpacked my day as well because my sense of time and energy is a lot different from my current reality. Time blindness is real. So the art of the fast no comes from you getting and staying clear on a short-term basis, not long-term, but on a short-term basis, and being willing to slow down, take your time, and release the overwork. You know when you're overworked. I don't have to give you a formula to know if you overworked. Your body tells you when you're overworked. You can't focus on what you're focused on. Your head hurts, your eyes hurt, your neck hurts, you're irritable, all the things. All the things. You know what being overworked feels like. I don't have to give you a formula for that. Your body has told you. Release overdoing it and trying to do it all. Give yourself permission to not finish things. Tell that inner you that it is okay to not have all of the boxes checked. I know it feels so counterintuitive. It feels wrong. It feeds into the messages that, oh my God, she's a smart girl, but she doesn't finish things. Oh my God, if you could just be more committed, you would be so much further. I know it feeds into those messages that we've heard for our entire lives. It feeds into those. But I want to invite you. You've got to start to let that little voice know that everything is okay, and you're not lazy, and you're not lazy. You're not fucking it up. You're not letting something fabulous go. You're not missing an opportunity. Designing a life that fits your brain is possible. It's, oh my God, it's possible. I want you to know today that you are not alone. You're not broken, and you're not fucking this up. I want to invite you to take time out. The one task I want you to do is every day, set an alert on your phone, put a sticky note on your laptop, write it on your hand in a fucking Sharpie. I will take 5 minutes to just breathe today. Even if you already have a daytime meditation practice or something like that you do in the morning, doing something like this midday or even before bed will be game changing. The slowing down for you, the intentional piece of slowing down. I want you to start taking 5 minutes. If you have an Apple product, I cannot speak for Android because I am not about that life. I am so sorry. But if you have an Apple product and you have an Apple Watch, they have this mindfulness app that will go off every time, a couple times a day, however you want to set up the notifications, to remind you to either be reflective or just to breathe. There's an app called Calm that has so many free little timed meditations. Grab that, set up notifications and reminders on that. Just one. I know ADHD wants you to fix the problem now, and it wants you to say, okay, I'm going to have 5 quiet moments in a day after each bit of everything. Don't do that to yourself. Start off with 1 and start off with 5 minutes. 5 minutes. And when the anxiety starts to kick in, this is what I tell myself. You have the time. Time is not real. You create your time. You have the time. You have 5 minutes. Charmaine, you have 5 minutes. And I breathe and I just let my thoughts go wherever they go. I don't stop thinking. But I don't stop thinking. And sometimes I do these 5 minutes and I'm walking in place, or sometimes I do the 5 minutes and I am like moving my body back and forth. So this doesn't have to be a sit down with your legs crossed, spine straight type of deal. This is just 5 minutes. Just 5 minutes of you breathing. It could be with or without music. Do whatever, find your thing. But this is beyond any type of morning meditative practice that you might have. This one thing will change how you engage with your life. It will change how you begin to agree to things or not agree to things. It will remind you of what you say your values are and how you say you want to show up. Just this one thing of adding an extra piece of stillness to your day will change so much for you. I want to thank you for hanging out with me today. I hope you enjoyed today's episode and it freed you to see your life a bit differently. Make sure to check out those show notes in the description for a full rundown of today's episode with all the important links and resources. If you want weekly exclusive episodes with me personally, make sure to sign up for my Simplify My Life newsletter. I'd love to know what you enjoyed about this episode, so leave a review to let me know how I can continue to support you. So Mama, I want you to know, you're doing much better than you think. You're further than you believe, and you're worthy to have it all. So until next time, stay weird and keep doing you, babe. Coming up next time on the We Ain't Normal show.
Then we move into maybe deeper perimenopause, sort of mid-40s or even late 40s. And we're beginning to notice a lot more changes. I divide out these symptoms into 3 groups: physical changes, emotional changes, and cognitive changes. Brain fog, short-term memory loss, forgetting words. So many women say, yeah, like you're beginning to think like, maybe I've got early onset dementia. What the hell is going on? Like, and it can range from, putting your car keys in the fridge to wondering why you walked into a room.
Want more of this episode? Make sure your podcast notifications are on and you're a part of the We Ain't Normal family by going to thecharmedlife.show to get weekly podcast updates and notifications. I'll see you there.